Lisa Dawson woke up to the sound of sirens. The noise filled every room of the United Earth Defense Force headquarters. Her hand moved quickly to grab her uniform as the emergency lights flashed red across her small room. All senior staff report to Command Center. This is not a drill. Repeat, this is not a drill. Lisa ran down the hallway, passing other officers who looked just as confused as she felt. When she entered the command center, the large screen showed something no human had ever seen before. Ships, massive ships, just beyond Mars. "Report," ordered Admiral Kelly as he walked into the room. "Sir, they appeared 10 minutes ago," said Officer Steve Grant, his voice shaking slightly. "No warning, no sign on our deep space scanners. They just showed up." Lisa moved closer to the screen. The ships were unlike anything humans had built. They were smooth, almost beautiful, with blue lights running along their sides. The largest one was bigger than any city on Earth. "Have they made contact?" asked Lisa. As if answering her question, every screen in the command center suddenly changed. The face that appeared wasn't human. The skin was blue and almost see-through. The eyes were large and completely black. When it spoke, its mouth moved strangely, but the words came out in perfect English. "People of Earth, we are the Arcturus Collective. We come in peace and friendship. For many years, we have watched your world from afar, admiring your spirit and your creativity. Today, we wish to welcome Earth into the galactic community." The room was silent. No one moved. The creature continued. "We bring gifts, technology, knowledge, medicine, things that will help your world solve its greatest problems. In return, we ask only for friendship and understanding. And perhaps, if you are willing, we would like to invite 500 humans to visit our world as cultural ambassadors." Admiral Kelly stepped forward. "I am Admiral John Kelly of the United Earth Defense Force. Your arrival is unexpected. How did you bypass our detection systems?" The alien smiled. At least Lisa thought it was a smile. "Our technology is very advanced, Admiral. We meant no offense. We simply wished to make a proper entrance." Defense Secretary Winters whispered to the Admiral, "We need time to assess this situation." Admiral Kelly nodded slightly before speaking again. "We appreciate your peaceful intentions. However, we will need time to consider your offer." "Of course," said the alien. "We understand caution. We will remain here, beyond your orbit, until you are ready. We look forward to a long and beneficial relationship with humanity." The screens returned to normal. "I want full analysis of those ships," ordered Admiral Kelly. "And get me the president." Hours later, Lisa sat in a meeting room with 20 other top officials. The president had joined by secure video. "They could have attacked without warning if that was their intention," said General Peters. "Or they're playing a longer game," replied Lisa. The room turned to look at her. "Sir, I've studied potential alien biology for years. These beings, they move wrong. Their body structure suggests a predatory evolution, not a cooperative one." Secretary Winters shook her head. "The public has already seen them. Social media is exploding with excitement. If we reject their offer outright, there will be serious political consequences." "Lieutenant Commander Dawson," said the president, "as our leading xenobiologist, what do you recommend?" Lisa took a deep breath. "We accept their offer, but carefully. Let me join the diplomatic team. I need to study them up close." 2 weeks later, the first human delegation boarded a small shuttle heading toward the massive alien ships. Lisa looked out the window as Earth grew smaller behind them. She touched the hidden scanner in her pocket. Something about the Arcturus didn't feel right, and she was going to find out what it was. The shuttle doors opened, and the aliens welcomed them with those strange smiles. The game had begun. 3 months had passed since the Arcturus Collective arrived. Life on Earth had changed in ways no one could have imagined. The aliens shared their medical technology first. Tiny machines called nanites now cured diseases that once killed millions. People who were dying last year now walked and played with their children. Lisa Dawson stood at the window of the New Earth Arcturus Science Center. She watched as her brother Eric packed his bags into the shuttle. He was one of the 500 volunteers chosen to visit the Arcturus homeworld. Lisa had tried to talk him out of it, but Eric believed in the aliens completely. They cured Mom's cancer, Lisa. How can you still doubt them? He had asked her last night. Lisa couldn't explain her feelings. The aliens had been nothing but helpful. Their energy technology had replaced oil and coal. Their farming methods grew food in places nothing had ever grown before. No one went hungry anymore. And yet something felt wrong. "Ready for the demonstration?" asked Kyle Mendez, walking up behind her. Lisa nodded. Kyle worked in computer security, and they had become friends over the past months. They both shared small doubts about the aliens, though they kept these thoughts private. They entered the lab where an Arcturus scientist named Zex waited. His blue skin seemed to pulse slightly as he moved. "Today we show you how our communication devices work," said Zex. "This will help your people build better networks." As Zex touched the strange metal box on the table, Lisa noticed something odd. The aliens' fingers moved in a pattern that didn't match what he was saying they were doing. Lisa had been studying their biology for months now, and their hands were built for fighting, not the gentle work they always showed humans. After the demonstration, Lisa and Kyle walked back to her office. "Did you notice how perfect their technology fits with ours?" Kyle whispered. "It's like they designed everything specifically for humans." Lisa nodded. "And the messages from the volunteers on their homeworld are getting strange." She showed Kyle the video messages from Eric. The first ones had been excited, full of details about the alien world, but the newest ones were short, with Eric saying the same things over and over. "Everything is wonderful. We are learning so much. The Arcturus are so kind." "Something's not right," said Lisa. That night, Lisa couldn't sleep. She got up and checked her private computer. She had been collecting small pieces of information, things that didn't make sense about the aliens. Their bodies were built for higher gravity than they claimed their planet had. Their eyes could see in ranges that suggested a predator species. And most concerning, sometimes, their translator devices slipped, using words like specimens instead of friends when talking about humans. Lisa's computer suddenly beeped. A message had arrived through an unusual channel. She opened it and gasped. It was Eric, but he looked different. His face was thin, and his eyes were wide with fear. "Lisa, if you get this, don't trust them," he whispered. "This isn't what they told us. We're not ambassadors. We're test subjects. They've been studying humans for hundreds of years. Earth isn't the first world they visited. It's the next world on their list." The message cut off suddenly. Lisa sat frozen, her heart beating fast. She needed proof before she could take this to Admiral Kelly. No one would believe her without solid evidence. The next morning, Lisa met with Kyle and their new friend Olivia Reeves, an engineer who worked on adapting alien technology for Earth use. "We need to check what these devices are really doing," Lisa said, showing them a medical nanite under a special microscope. "I think they might be collecting data on us." Olivia looked nervous. "If you're right, we're in serious trouble. There are alien devices in every major city now." Lisa nodded. "Then we need to work fast and quietly. I think we're running out of time." Lisa, Kyle, and Olivia worked in secret for 2 weeks. They set up a small lab in the basement of an old building away from the main science center. No alien technology was allowed inside. They'd brought samples of the alien devices and studied them under special equipment that Olivia built herself. "Look at this," Olivia said one night. She pointed to her computer screen that showed the inside of a medical nanite. "This part here has nothing to do with healing. It's collecting data about human biology." Kyle nodded. "And I found something in their communication devices too. They send information back to the main ships every night. Not just regular reports, but huge amounts of data about our military bases, power plants, and water systems." Lisa felt cold fear in her stomach. They're mapping everything they would need to know if they wanted to attack us." The door opened, and they all jumped. Admiral Kelly walked in with a serious look on his face. "I got your message," he said to Lisa. "Show me what you found." After they showed him all their evidence, the Admiral sat quietly for a long time. "We need more proof," he finally said. "If we go public with this, half the world will think we're crazy. People love the aliens and all the good things they've brought us." "I have an idea," Lisa said. "The aliens gave us access to their communication systems. If we could hack into their private messages, we might find out what they're really planning." Kyle looked worried. "That's dangerous. If they catch us." "We don't have a choice," Lisa said. "Eric sent me another secret message yesterday. He said they're almost ready for Phase 2, whatever that means." The Admiral gave them permission to try. Kyle worked for 3 days straight, barely sleeping. Finally, he broke through. "I'm in their system," he said, his voice excited. "But there's a problem. Most of their messages are in their language, and it's nothing like what the translators show us." Lisa thought for a moment. Eric's translator might help. He studied languages before he volunteered. In his last message, he mentioned sending me a gift. It arrived yesterday. She opened a small box and took out what looked like a normal translator device the aliens had given to all volunteers. But when she turned it over, she saw Eric had changed something inside it. They connected the modified translator to Kyle's computer. Slowly, alien words turned into English on the screen. What they read made them all go quiet with fear. "Colony preparation proceeding as scheduled. Human test subjects providing excellent data on neural responses to various stimuli, especially fear responses. Phase 2 will begin in 7 Earth days. All primary targets identified. Control systems in place through gifted technology. Estimate 85% of resistance eliminated in first strike. Earth's resources exceed expectations. Harvest will be significant." Admiral Kelly stood up. "We need to warn everyone. We need to." He stopped as alarms began to sound. The lights in their secret lab flickered. "What's happening?" Olivia asked. Kyle checked his computer. "Something's wrong with the power grid. It's failing all over the city." Lisa's phone beeped. A message from an unknown number appeared. It was Eric again, his face bloody and his eyes wild with fear. "They know I warned you. They're starting early. Lisa, you need to know the truth about them. They don't want our planet or our resources. They want us. Our fear. Something in human fear creates chemicals they feed on. That's why they experiment on us, to find what scares us most." The message started to break up. "There's more. Their weakness. They can't handle. When fear turns to..." The screen went black. The ground shook beneath them as something exploded nearby. They ran to the window and saw alien ships moving across the sky, no longer staying in orbit, but coming down to the surface. "It's starting," Lisa whispered. "The invasion." Admiral Kelly grabbed his phone. "I'm ordering all Earth Defense Forces to battle stations, but I don't know if it will be enough." Lisa looked at the dark sky filled with alien ships. "We need to find out what Eric was trying to tell us about their weakness. It might be our only chance." The world fell apart in less than a day. The alien ships that had stayed peacefully in orbit for months suddenly revealed hidden weapons. They attacked military bases first, then government buildings. Lisa, Admiral Kelly, Kyle, and Olivia barely escaped the city as explosions lit up the night sky behind them. They drove fast toward the mountains. "The Rocky Mountain base is our best chance," Admiral Kelly said as he drove. "It was built before the aliens came. No alien technology was ever installed there." Kyle looked at his laptop. "The internet is going down everywhere. And the aliens are doing something with the technology they gave us." Reports came in from around the world. Medical nanites were hurting people instead of healing them. Energy systems were shutting down or exploding. Even the farming equipment was releasing chemicals that made people sick. "They planned this all along," Lisa said. "Everything they gave us had a hidden purpose. When they reached the mountain base, soldiers let them in through heavy doors that closed quickly behind them. Inside, military personnel ran back and forth, trying to organize a defense. General Martinez met them in the command center. "Admiral, glad you made it. The situation is bad. Most of our advanced weapons won't work. The aliens did something to them." "What about the people?" Lisa asked. "Are they killing everyone?" The general shook his head. "That's the strange thing. They're taking people alive, capturing them instead of killing them." Lisa remembered Eric's message. "They want our fear. They feed on it somehow. Some people are helping them." A soldier added, "It's like they're being controlled." "The medical nanites," Olivia said. "They must be able to affect the brain." Admiral Kelly called everyone to look at the main screen. Satellite images showed alien ships landing in major cities. Strange buildings were being constructed quickly. "What are those?" Kyle asked. "Processing facilities," Lisa guessed. "Places to harvest people's fear." For 3 days, they worked to contact other military bases around the world. Some had survived the first attack. A resistance was forming, but it was small compared to the alien forces. On the 4th day, a soldier ran into the command center. "Sir, we're receiving a transmission from inside an alien facility. It's coming through on an old radio frequency." The voice that came through the speakers was weak but clear. "This is Captain Tim Rogers. I'm being held in some kind of alien lab. There are hundreds of us here. They're experimenting on us, testing different ways to scare us." Lisa pushed forward. "Captain, this is Lieutenant Commander Dawson. Do you know anything about their weaknesses? Anything that hurts them?" "They don't like it when we get angry," the captain replied. "They back away. Something about our brain chemistry changes." The transmission cut off suddenly. "We need to rescue those people," Admiral Kelly said. "And we need to find out more about this weakness." Lisa thought about Eric. "My brother might know more. He was trying to tell us something about what happens when fear turns to something else." "I think he meant anger." "You want to rescue your brother from an alien ship?" Kyle asked. "How would we even get there?" Olivia spoke up. "I might have an idea. Before the attack, I was studying their shuttle technology. I think I could get one of our old space planes to match their signals, make the aliens think it's one of their ships." Admiral Kelly nodded. "It's worth a try. Lisa, pick a small team. Find your brother and any other ambassadors you can. Find out what they know." 2 days later, Lisa sat in the cockpit of a modified space plane. With her were Kyle, Olivia, and 4 soldiers. They lifted off in the night, hoping the aliens wouldn't notice one small ship among their fleet. "We're approaching the main alien ship," Olivia said. "I'm sending their identification codes now." Everyone held their breath. If the aliens realized who they were, they would be destroyed instantly. The radio crackled. "Shuttle 247, you are cleared to dock." Lisa let out her breath slowly. They were in. Now came the hard part: finding Eric in a massive alien ship and getting back out alive. The alien ship was huge inside. Lisa and her team moved carefully through the blue-lit hallways, wearing uniforms they had taken from humans who worked for the aliens. Kyle had hacked into the ship's system and found a map. "The human prisoners are being kept 3 levels down," he whispered, looking at his small computer. "But there's heavy security." "What about the ambassadors?" Lisa asked. "Where would Eric be?" Kyle checked the map again. "There's a special area marked as research subjects. That might be where they keep the ambassadors." They moved down through the ship, hiding whenever alien guards passed by. The deeper they went, the more humans they saw. Some looked normal, but their eyes seemed empty, like they weren't really there. The aliens had done something to their minds. "Those must be the people who are helping the aliens," Olivia said. "The ones affected by the nanites." They reached a large door marked with alien symbols. One of the soldiers, Joe, placed a device Olivia had made on the control panel. The door slid open. Inside was a nightmare. Rows of clear tubes lined the walls, each containing a human. Wires and tubes were connected to their bodies. Machines recorded their heart rates and brain activity. "They're measuring their fear," Lisa said, feeling sick. "Testing different ways to scare them." "Lisa, over here," Kyle called from across the room. In a separate area, they found the ambassadors. Most were in the same tubes, but some were walking around, working with the aliens. And there, in a special tube at the center, was Eric. Lisa ran to him. He was awake, but looked different. Parts of his body had strange metal pieces attached to his skin. His eyes were partly covered by some kind of alien technology. "Eric, it's me," Lisa said, placing her hand on the glass. Eric's eyes focused on her. "Lisa, is that really you?" Olivia worked quickly to figure out how to open the tube. When it finally opened, Eric fell forward into Lisa's arms. "We need to get you out of here," Lisa said. Eric shook his head. "No, you need to know what I've learned." His voice sounded strange, partly human and partly mechanical. "The Arcturus don't just feed on fear, they harvest it. The chemicals our brains make when we're afraid are like a drug to them. They'd been doing this for thousands of years to hundreds of different species. That's why they're keeping people alive," Kyle said. "Yes, but there's more." Eric struggled to stand up straight. "I've been connected to their systems. I've seen their records. Earth wasn't randomly discovered. We were next on their list. They'd been watching us for centuries." "Why us?" Lisa asked. "Because humans produce the most powerful fear chemicals they've ever found. But there's something else, something they didn't expect." Eric touched the metal pieces on his face. "They've been studying me closely because I scared them. When they pushed me too far, made me too afraid, something changed. My fear turned to rage, and it hurt them. Actually hurt them." A loud alarm suddenly sounded throughout the ship. "They know we're here," Joe said. "We need to move now." "We need to free as many people as we can," Lisa said. Eric pointed to a central control panel. "That controls all the tubes, but we'll never get everyone out in time." Lisa made a quick decision. "Olivia, Kyle, work on freeing the prisoners. Joe, you and your men hold off any aliens that come. Eric, I need you to tell me everything you know about how anger affects them." As Olivia and Kyle ran to the control panel, and the soldiers took up defensive positions, Eric spoke quickly to Lisa. "When humans get angry enough, our brain chemistry changes completely. The fear chemicals transform into something the Arcturus have never encountered before. It's toxic to them, like poison." Lisa's mind raced with ideas. "So if we could find a way to project human anger, to make them feel it directly. It might be a weapon," Eric finished her thought. "But Lisa, be careful. The Arcturus aren't just afraid of our anger. They're terrified of what humans become when they stop being afraid and start fighting back." The door burst open, and alien guards rushed in. The battle for the ship had begun. The fight in the alien ship was fierce. Joe and his soldiers fired their weapons at the alien guards, while Lisa helped Eric move toward the exit. Kyle and Olivia worked frantically at the control panel. "Got it," Olivia shouted as the tubes began to open. Confused and frightened people stumbled out, looking around in panic. "Everyone follow us," Lisa called to them. "We're getting you out of here." They moved as a group through the hallways, the soldiers protecting them from both sides. Not everyone could be saved. There were too many prisoners, and not enough time. But they managed to free about 30 people, including 10 of the original ambassadors. As they reached the docking bay where their ship waited, a large group of aliens blocked their path. The aliens raised their weapons. "We're trapped," Kyle said. Eric stepped forward, pulling away from Lisa's supporting arm. He faced the aliens and began to speak in their language, making strange clicking sounds. The aliens seemed surprised. Then Eric turned to Lisa. "I told them if they let us go, we won't release the anger weapon yet. They're afraid, Lisa. They believe we have a way to project human rage already." The aliens moved aside, creating a path to the human ship. Lisa didn't understand why they would give in so easily, but there was no time to question it. "Everyone on board now," she ordered. Once their ship launched and escaped the alien vessel, Lisa turned to Eric. "How did you do that? Why did they let us go?" Eric's partly mechanical face showed pain as he spoke. "They'd been studying me because I'm different. When they connected me to their systems, I learned things about them. I learned their language. And I found out they have legends about species that can transform fear into other emotions. They call them the dangerous ones. They've never successfully conquered a species that can do this." Back at the mountain base, Dr. Frank Lawson examined Eric and the other rescued ambassadors. The news wasn't good. "The aliens have made major changes to their bodies," Dr. Lawson explained to Lisa and Admiral Kelly. "Eric is the most altered. They've connected alien technology directly to his brain." "Can you remove it?" Lisa asked. The doctor shook his head. "Not without killing him. But there might be a way to use this. Eric can now understand their biology better than any human." Eric sat up on the examination table. "I have an idea. The aliens feed on fear, right? What if we could create a weapon that projects the opposite? A device that makes them feel human anger, human rage." Admiral Kelly looked doubtful. "How would that even work?" Dr. Lawson thought for a moment. "Well, we know that emotions create specific patterns in the brain and specific chemicals in the body. If we could capture those patterns, amplify them, and then project them somehow." Olivia, who had been listening quietly, spoke up. "I think I could build something like that. But we'd need to record the brain patterns first. We'd need volunteers to feel intense anger while we record their brain activity." "I'll volunteer," Lisa said immediately. Over the next week, Dr. Lawson and Olivia worked together to build what they called an emotion projector. They recorded brain patterns from Lisa and others as they thought about what the aliens had done to Earth, to their families, to Eric. The rage was real and powerful. On the 8th day, they tested the device for the first time. They had captured a lone alien scout and kept it in a secure room. When they aimed the emotion projector at it and turned it on, something unexpected happened. The alien didn't just seem afraid, it physically reacted. Its blue skin turned gray. It fell to the floor, its body shaking. After just 30 seconds, they turned off the device. The alien lay still, breathing but severely weakened. "It worked better than we expected," Dr. Lawson said, amazed. The emotional patterns didn't just frighten it, they actually caused a physical reaction, like an allergic response or a poison. Eric nodded. "That's why they fear species like us. Human rage produces chemicals that are toxic to them. That's their weakness." Admiral Kelly looked at the device with new hope. "Then we have a weapon. Now we need a plan to use it." 2 weeks after developing the emotion projector, the resistance was ready to fight back. Admiral Kelly had contacted all remaining military forces around the world. The plan was simple but dangerous. Attack the largest alien processing center in what used to be Washington, D.C. "We won't be able to take down all their facilities at once," Admiral Kelly explained to the gathered soldiers. "But if we can show that they can be hurt, it will give people hope. It will turn their fear into anger." Lisa looked at the improved emotion projector devices. Olivia had made 10 of them, small enough to carry but powerful enough to affect aliens up to 50 feet away. The best fighters would carry them. "Remember," Lisa told the soldiers, "these aren't just weapons. They project human emotions, our rage, our determination to survive. The aliens have never faced this before." The night before the attack, Lisa visited Eric in the medical area. Half his face was still covered with alien technology, but his eyes were clear and determined. "I should be going with you," he said. Lisa shook her head. "You're still recovering, and we need you here to help understand anything we bring back." Eric took her hand. "Lisa, there's something else you should know. From what I learned when I was connected to their systems, the Arcturus don't just take over planets for the fear chemicals. They farm emotions. They keep species alive for generations, carefully controlling them to produce the most fear. That's horrible, Lisa said. It gets worse. They've done this to over 100 different species. Some have been their prisoners for thousands of years. Earth is just the newest addition to their farm. The next morning, 500 soldiers loaded into transport planes. They flew low over the mountains to avoid alien detection. Lisa sat with Kyle, Olivia, and Joe, checking their weapons and the emotion projector one last time. "Are you afraid?" Kyle asked. "Yes," Lisa answered honestly, "but that's good. We need to remember how fear feels so we can turn it into something stronger." The planes landed 10 miles from Washington, D.C., and the soldiers continued on foot. When they reached the edge of the city, they saw the alien processing facility. It was a massive structure that glowed with blue light. Human captives were being marched inside in long lines. Admiral Kelly split the forces into 4 groups. 3 would attack different sides of the facility as a distraction. Lisa's group, carrying the emotion projectors, would head straight for the main control center. The battle began at dawn. Explosions and gunfire erupted from 3 sides of the facility. Alien guards rushed to defend against the attack. Lisa's team moved quickly through a service tunnel that Kyle had discovered on old city maps. They met resistance inside. Alien guards fired strange energy weapons that burned through walls. 2 soldiers fell. But when Joe activated his emotion projector, the aliens physically recoiled, some dropping to their knees. "It works," Joe shouted. "Keep moving." They fought their way deeper into the facility. Lisa saw the horror of what was happening inside. Humans were kept in small cells, subjected to different fear-inducing situations. The aliens collected the chemicals produced by their bodies. Lisa's anger grew with every step. When they reached the main control center, they found it heavily guarded. The team activated all their emotion projectors at once, aiming them at the guards. The effect was immediate and shocking. The aliens didn't just fall. Their blue skin actually began to crack and peel. Some made horrible shrieking sounds before collapsing completely. "They're dying," Olivia said, sounding surprised. "Our anger is killing them." Lisa pushed past the fallen aliens and reached the main control panel. Using what Eric had taught her about alien technology, she accessed the communication system. It controlled not just this facility but connected to every alien ship in orbit. "What are you doing?" Kyle asked. "Sending a message," Lisa said. "Something they'll understand." She connected the emotion projector directly to the communication system and turned it to its highest setting. Then she spoke into the system, knowing her words would be translated and her emotions would be transmitted to every alien on and above Earth. "This is Earth's final message. No more games. Now you'll see what monsters really are." Lisa's message echoed through every alien ship and facility on Earth. The emotion projector sent not just her words, but the full force of human rage along with them. The effect was immediate and planet-wide. In the Washington facility, aliens fell to the ground, their bodies shaking. Outside, the alien ships in the sky wobbled, and some crashed to the ground. For several minutes, the entire alien force seemed frozen in pain. Lisa and her team used this chance to free as many human prisoners as they could. The free people joined the fight, their fear turning to anger as they realized they could fight back against their captors. "We need to get back to base," Admiral Kelly said over the radio. "This won't last forever. They'll regroup." As they retreated with hundreds of freed prisoners, Lisa looked back at the alien facility. For the first time since the invasion, she felt real hope. The aliens could be hurt. They could be defeated. 3 weeks passed. Reports came in from around the world of aliens leaving Earth. Their ships were taking off, abandoning facilities and fleeing into space. The humans who had been controlled by alien technology slowly began to recover as the aliens' influence faded. At the mountain base, Lisa stood with Admiral Kelly, Eric, and the others as they watched satellite images of the last alien ships leaving Earth's orbit. "They're running away," Kyle said, sounding amazed. "Not just running," Eric added. His voice was stronger now, and doctors had managed to remove some of the alien technology from his body. "They're terrified. What we did showed them that humans can fight back in a way they've never encountered before." Admiral Kelly nodded. "But they could come back, with more ships, better prepared for our weapon." "Then we need to be ready," Lisa said. "And we need to do more than just defend Earth." She led them to a room where Olivia had been studying technology from the alien facility they had captured. On a large table sat a strange device with curved metal pieces and glowing blue lights. "This is their long-range communication system," Olivia explained. "We can use it to send messages across the galaxy." Lisa placed a hand on the device. "We've found star maps in their databases. They show hundreds of worlds under Arcturus control. Other species they've been farming for fear chemicals for generations." "You want to contact these other species?" Admiral Kelly asked. Lisa nodded. "We want to do more than that. We want to give them the plans for the emotion projector, teach them how to fight back, start a galaxy-wide rebellion against the Arcturus." The others looked at her with surprise and growing excitement. "Can we do that?" Kyle asked. Eric smiled, the human half of his face showing determination. "Yes, I can help translate our message into languages the other species will understand. And I can explain exactly how to build weapons that will hurt the Arcturus." 2 days later, everything was ready. Lisa stood before the alien communication device as Olivia made final adjustments. "Broadcasting in 3, 2, 1, Olivia said. Lisa spoke clearly, knowing her words would soon reach across countless light years to species she had never met. "To all beings enslaved by the Arcturus Collective. This is Lisa Dawson from planet Earth. We have discovered how to fight our captors and drive them away. We can teach you to do the same." The message continued, sending detailed plans for building emotion projectors, explanations of how human rage affected Arcturus biology, and a simple promise: "You are not alone anymore. Together, we can end their reign of fear." When the transmission was complete, Lisa looked around at her friends. "Now we wait to see who answers." 6 weeks later, as humanity worked to rebuild their damaged world, the alien communication device activated on its own. A strange voice, translated by Eric's Modify technology, filled the room. "People of Earth, we have received your message. We have built your weapon. For 3,000 years, the Arcturus have harvested our fear. Yesterday, we drove them from our world. You have given us freedom. Tell us how we can help you fight them further." Lisa smiled as similar messages began coming in from other worlds. The galaxy was waking up. The Arcturus were running out of places to hide. "Send them our coordinates," Lisa told Olivia. "Tell them Earth is ready to lead an alliance. The time for being afraid is over."